What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna be smoking some food. I got two racks of ribs seasoned in my fridge. I'll show you the season in 1 second. And then I got a bunch of wings. I'm gonna fill up a bowl, season those, and I'll show you the seasoning and see what I'm working with here. So I got 4 packs of wings in here from Acme, and I'm gonna put some Italian dressing in the bowl to marinate them, along with some Bold Chef barbecue rub for my smoker. Now the ribs, I have 2 racks of ribs in this barbecue rub. Now this one's more of a savor, it has a sweet taste to it once it's all caramelized onto it. This one has a more of a peppery taste, has a more of a kick to it. But then after these are smoked, I'm probably not gonna eat these right away. I'm gonna bring these to my parents' house for Father's Day and munch on them with my family. But I wanted to get us a nice appetizer to eat with dinner. So let me get these sauced up and I'll show you them marinating. All right, so the wings are marinating. I'll put the lid on it in 1 second, get it in the fridge. I don't leave them in the marinade for probably a few hours. It's about 10:30 now, so around noon I'll probably get this stuff on the smoker. And this is one of the racks of ribs I did. And I did 2, and like I said, I used the Ultimate Chef barbecue rub on it. Now I'll smoke these. This will probably take 4 hours uncovered, and I'll cover it, smoke it for another couple hours at a higher heat. These will probably take 3 to 4 hours smoking since it's a smaller wing. But I'm gonna go ahead, I need to go get more charcoal, and I'll get this stuff in the fridge, let these marinate a little bit, and then get this smoker started up. So we got back from Home Depot. I got all the stuff that I need, so let's check it out. And I'll show you guys my smoker before I get it all lit. Talk about it, why I bought this one, and how I light it, and pretty much what I do to get it going just for the start. So this is my smoker. It is the Oklahoma Joe smoker. It has 1 thermometer, and I may install a second one here. These are about $20, I believe, just so I can see some like temps on the other side, because this is the closest side to the smoker box. You can see inside, I have used it prior and it's still dirty. I do not clean the bottom of it. I let that just sit, but I will clean off this grate before I put everything else on it. As far as the drip tray, it did come with a small one, but I use this Miller Lite bucket that I got from a bar and just chills there, and then I empty it as needed. Now the firebox was separate, and this all did come unassembled. I had to assemble it, but the firebox is separate. Now this I clean out every time that I use it, so that it has a good airflow at the bottom. For the most part, I usually leave this wide open. Sometimes I even open this latch when I need to manage the heat more. Now that it's a hot day and it's probably in the 90s, it's not going to be as hard to manage heat. As you can see on the thermometer, nothing's even lit. It's already pushing 125 degrees inside of this. So I really only need to get it up to 250 to hold. And I will hold it inside that smoke area, so about 250. Now, wood, I use logs, and I have hickory, and I got some chips too to throw on it to help stay lit. I do like the logs a lot more because it helps stay lit longer and manage heat a little better and easier. I did pick up another bag at Home Depot since this one's pretty light. These logs last a while too, so I shouldn't have an issue there. Now I usually use Kingsford for my charcoal, but I did pick up a different brand today. It's roll it over. Embers by Real Oak. I've never used these before, but they were a little bit cheaper for the same weight, so I'm going to try them out and see how I like them. If not, I'll just go back to using the Kingsford. But let's get this lit. I'll get this loaded with charcoal to get it lit and start it up, and see how far I can get it. I do light it and let it sit for about 20 minutes lit, because I want to try and burn off all this lighter fluid. So let's go ahead and get it lit. So it's all lit. Now I'll let this burn out. I'll leave the door open and that gate open on the side and let it just burn down. I'll keep monitoring it for a little bit to get the coals nice and hot, and then I'll shut it to get them even hotter before adding my first log and some wood chips. This will, as you can already see, starting to gain temp, but we'll let it go for a little bit. I'll get them nice and hot. So I let it die down some. It's been about 10 minutes. You can see some hot coals down there. So I'm gonna start adding wood in about 5 more minutes, then we'll get the fire back going and the smoker should be good. But now that it's heated up a little bit, I will clean the grate. And it's pretty simple. I just use my brush here and just clean it, knocking all the stuff off and pretty much clean it just like that before I put all the food on, so it's not getting old food, but the stuff in the bottom stays just so that it can soak up a little bit more flavor. It's cleaned up. I waited a few more minutes and I got the wood on. You can see the flames coming back. I threw some little shards you see down there underneath the log to light them so it can catch the log, and there's another chunk down there. That's why I do like having some of these bags, because it does help with lighting it and keeping it lit. So I'm gonna shut this, let it get to temp, and then we're gonna bring the food out and check on this, try and get it back up to just over 200, and then we will get the food on. But I do leave this shut. I do have this open just for some oxygen flow. All right, so I'm sitting about 250. I got my food out, ready to go on. The fire's going a little bit, but I'm getting some good smoke out of the chimney here. So I'm gonna add the food, so let's get it all onto the smoker. I got my wings and I got my ribs, so let's get it on there. All right, it is all on there and I got it looking good. Now let's shut this and then I'm gonna get this back up to 250 now. About 250, I want it a little lower than 250 now. The key to this is I gotta monitor this temp, but I don't wanna open this until I'm ready to either pull stuff off or move stuff around or flip it. Now I don't mainly flip stuff when I smoke. We're gonna check the fire and the fire is blazing right now. So we're in good shape. I did shut the gate, kill some oxygen. It's one way you can manage temperatures. You should get like a hot pad or something to do this, but I'm used to heat from working in kitchens, so I just kind of touch it lightly. But let's keep it going. So it is back up to over 200, and I did save my tin foil here for my ribs, and I'll reuse it to wrap them later on and get it back up. Once I'm done smoking them, I'll wrap them, get this heat probably above about the 300 mark in the barbecue, and cook them, slow cook them there for probably a couple more hours if I'm done smoking. But right now it's just moving this stuff out of the way and monitoring it. So I'll come check it again in probably about an hour. When it's hot out, I check it once an hour to make sure, one, my temp's good, my firebox doesn't need any attention, maybe another log thrown on it. Typically use about 2 logs per smoke, but I'll check it then and we'll come back and check it, but I won't open this until I'm ready to pull some stuff off. Back out here checking on it. Still holding about 200. Now I did come out earlier and added a log, so I gotta probably turn that log just to get it burning some. I have a poker right here. try and keep the flames going. I do have another small log underneath of it, but it looks like it needs a little bit of oxygen, and I do have the side gate closed. We're still holding, but we're looking a little scarce on our smoke, so I'm gonna get that going. I'm not gonna open this up and check on it, but let me go ahead and get this firebox back under control and possibly get this up a little bit higher. So I blew into it a little bit, got the fire going with the side gate open on it. So it should be gaining some temp, and I've got much better smoke coming out of the chimney now, so we're good to go. And it looks like my temp came up a little bit more, so I am pretty happy with it there, but it'll probably rise slightly more with the flames going. I'm gonna let this just cook away, and we'll come back in probably like another hour and a half, and we should be wrapping the rigs at that point and getting the wings off of it. All right, so the ribs are pretty much done. I'm gonna go get them off of the grill, off the smoker, I mean, and then bring them back inside. I got some dishes to bring them in on, and then we'll check them out and check out the finished product. It's about 8 o'clock now, so they've been on for almost 7.5 hours. They should be really good right now. They've cooked about 250 degrees the entire time, maybe a little less, 200 to 250 degrees, so should be nice and tender. We'll check it out. So it's seeping a little bit through the tin foil, pretty good sign, but there's our finished product, and that is just nice and juicy looking. Let's see if I got a knife here. I mean, it's just, yeah. That is a cooked rib there. Not quite as tender as I would have liked, but it's still a nice fall off the bone rib. So pretty good stuff here. End's a little more charred. That was it, and that was at the other edge of the smoker, but right by the firebox. But we're looking pretty good. And that is a cooked rib. So a couple more hours on there, probably like 300, and this thing would have just been falling off the bone. But this is still gonna be nice and tasty. Now the other rack up here, I'm gonna save this one. I'm gonna probably eat this one tonight, and it's looking mighty good, so I'll eat that one tonight. Probably eat half that rack myself and see how it does, see how it tastes. Yeah, that's my day of smoking. Couple racks of ribs, a bunch of wings. Everything turned out pretty good. The ribs, I've loved ribs all my life. I mean, I pretty much ate them a lot. I remember going to Outback Steakhouse when I was a child and just tearing up a full rack of ribs and shocking everyone that I could eat that much. But you know, smoking is probably one of my favorite ways of cooking. I also like grilling, cook a lot in the kitchen, being that I worked in food service for so long. But you know, see a lot of videos of me using my smoker this summer. In the winter time, I've dabbled with it in the winter, but it's a little harder to control the heat when it's so cold. In the summertime, you know, a little bit of charcoal can go a long way. Typically on a normal smoke, I'll burn through about half a bag of charcoal. When it gets a little colder, it'll go up towards almost a full bag of charcoal when it's a lot colder out, just because it's harder to maintain that temperature. But you know, thanks for checking this video out. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more.